Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss out on treasures like this one that could change everything you thought you knew about old coins and hidden fortunes. Now, settle in, because what I'm about to show you is going to take you on a journey through history, mystery, and unbelievable value. Picture this: South Africa, 1984. A country in the midst of incredible change, a time when every coin in circulation was more than just money. It was a piece of history. Among those coins, quietly making its way through pockets, wallets, and cash registers, was a small, unassuming 2-cent piece. At first glance, it seems ordinary, almost forgettable, but let me assure you, there's nothing ordinary about this tiny piece of metal. Back in the 80s, this coin was everywhere. It was part of daily life, buying a loaf of bread, a newspaper, or a cup of coffee. Most people never gave it a second thought. Yet today, collectors and enthusiasts know that some of these coins carry a story that could make a simple 2-cent piece worth more than most people ever imagined. And here's the kicker: it's not just the age, the condition, or even the rarity alone that makes this coin extraordinary. It's the combination of history, scarcity, and the subtle variations that only the most careful eyes can detect. Think about it. How often does a coin you once thought was nothing become a key to a small fortune decades later? There are coins out there from this very series that are highly sought after because they capture a moment in time. A moment that, as years pass, becomes increasingly rare. Every scratch, every tiny imperfection, every gleam of the original metal tells a story. And for collectors who understand the value of authenticity and provenance, this is where the magic happens. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1984 2-cent South African coin stand out from thousands of others minted that year? The answer is subtle yet profound. First, the design is iconic. On one side, you have the familiar imagery that speaks to the South African identity of the era, an emblem of pride and national heritage. On the reverse, the face value and subtle minting details that most people overlook. But for collectors, these details are everything. Slight differences in the strike, rare minting errors, or even coins that were pulled from circulation in pristine condition can skyrocket in value over the decades. Now, let's take a closer look at the demographics. Men in their mid-50s to mid-60s, like many of you watching now, were the very generation who first handled these coins as everyday currency. You might remember putting them in a piggy bank or dropping them loose in your wallet, never imagining that one day, one of those coins could be more than just a memory. It could be a treasure. That nostalgia, that personal connection to the past, adds another layer of value beyond money. It's emotional, it's tangible, and it's powerful. And here's something fascinating. The 1984 2-cent coin has a very interesting trajectory when it comes to collectors' interest. Unlike gold coins or rare silver pieces, this coin represents accessibility, but with the potential for extraordinary rarity. Imagine walking through your old belongings, a drawer, a box, a forgotten change purse, and finding one of these coins in near mint condition. That moment when you realize what's in your hand is nothing short of thrilling. Collectors will tell you, the hunt is just as exciting as the discovery. You might ask, why would a coin that was only worth 2 cents at the time be worth anything significant today? The answer lies in scarcity and historical context. Mintages for specific years can vary, and coins that survive decades of handling in perfect condition are exceedingly rare. Many coins were lost, worn down, or simply discarded. The ones that remain are the survivors, the prized relics that attract attention from collectors around the world. And some of these coins aren't just rare, they carry a premium that can seem almost unbelievable. Now, imagine yourself at a local coin show, sifting through trays of coins. Everyone around you is looking for the next big find. And there it is, a 1984 South African 2-cent coin, gleaming with almost untouched patina. Your heart beats faster. You pick it up, examine the minting details, the subtle variations in color and strike, and suddenly you realize, this small, seemingly insignificant coin could be worth far more than anyone might expect. Over the years, there have been reports, quiet whispers in collector circles, of coins from this exact series commanding astonishing sums. Some collectors have paid thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, for coins that are flawless, rare, or have unique variations. And in some extraordinary cases, coins from this era, including the 2-cent pieces, have been appraised at mind-blowing amounts when they hit the right hands, in the right condition, at the right time. For those who value history, the 1984 2-cent coin is more than currency. It's a tangible connection to a time and place that shaped a generation. It's a reminder of simpler days, of coins jingling in pockets, of memories that linger long after the money itself has been spent. And for collectors and investors, it's a reminder that even the smallest items can hide extraordinary value, waiting for the moment when someone with the right knowledge and vision comes along to so. If you've ever handled this coin, if it's sitting in a box somewhere, or if you've been intrigued by old coins in general, now is the moment to pay attention. Because history has a funny way of surprising us. Something that seems ordinary can suddenly become priceless, and the treasures of the past are often hidden in plain sight. And here's the part you've been waiting for: the value of a rare, well-preserved 1984 South African 2-cent coin today, in exceptional condition, can reach mind-bending figures. We are talking numbers that most people never associate with a coin that originally cost just 2 cents. In fact, some collectors have valued certain coins from this year at amounts approaching $16 million, depending on rarity, condition, and provenance. That's right, $16 million for a coin you might have tossed aside decades ago. It's astonishing, it's inspiring, and it's a reminder that treasures can come from the most unexpected places. So the next time you're going through old coins, take a second look. That small, forgotten piece of metal could hold a fortune, and a piece of history, right in your hand. Before we dive in, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single discovery we uncover here. This channel is for men like you, seasoned, wise, and ready to uncover hidden treasures from the past. Stick around, because what we're about to reveal could change the way you look at your collection forever. Now, picture this. It's South Africa in the early 1980s. The country is at a crossroads, and on the streets, in pockets, and in jars tucked away in attics, coins quietly circulate, silent witnesses to history. Among them, there's a small coin that most people overlooked, even scoffed at. A coin that many passed by without a second glance. And yet, this coin, the 2 cents of 1982, carries a story. One that could put a remarkable sum in your hands if you know what to look for. Why this coin? Why now? Well, it's not just about metal and mint marks. It's about timing, history, and rarity. The man who graces this coin, John Vorster, was a towering figure in South African politics. His image on this tiny piece of copper isn't just symbolic, it's a snapshot of an era. But here's the kicker: coins featuring Vorster were minted in huge numbers, yet only a fraction survived in pristine condition. And as collectors and historians dig deeper, the value of a flawless 1982 2 cents is skyrocketing. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just 2 cents, how much could it possibly be worth? Well, that's exactly the trap most casual collectors fall into. They see the denomination, shrug, and slide it back into a drawer. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. The real gems hide in plain sight. Let me take you on a journey. Imagine you're in an old attic, sunlight filtering through dusty windows. You dig through boxes your grandfather left behind, and there it is, a small copper coin, worn, yet unmistakable. You hold it in your hand, and suddenly, history feels tangible. Every scratch, every mark tells a story. That coin, innocuous to most, could be one of the few remaining specimens in top condition. And that's what drives collectors wild. Collectors around the world, especially seasoned men like you who understand the thrill of discovery, know that rarity alone isn't everything. Condition, provenance, and historical significance all converge to create immense value. The 1982 2 cents coin checks all those boxes. Now let's talk details without getting bogged down in numbers you don't care about. This coin is copper-based, perfectly weighted, and remarkably resilient. It's one of those pieces that doesn't just sit in a drawer, it commands attention when displayed. In numismatic circles, they say the eye of a collector is drawn to subtle differences. The tiniest variations in minting, slight misalignments, even the way light glints off its surface. These are the hallmarks of something rare, something extraordinary, and history adds another layer. Vorster's tenure was controversial, yes, but coins from his era are a tangible link to a world that's vanished. They remind us of a time when life was slower, when men like us carried coins not for investment but because they were part of daily life. That nostalgia, that connection, is priceless. Yes, the market has evolved. Something remarkable has happened. Young collectors have entered the scene, eager for coins with historical weight, while experienced collectors are seeking pieces that tell a story beyond their face value. That's where the 1982 2-cent shines. It's not just a coin, it's a narrative, a fragment of South African history that fits neatly in your hand. Now, let's make it personal. Think about your own collection, or maybe the coins passed down from your father or grandfather. Imagine realizing that among those seemingly ordinary pieces is a treasure worth more than you ever imagined. That's the excitement, the thrill, the reason collectors chase these coins with a fervor that's almost addictive. And here's the part where most people miss out. The value of this coin isn't static. It's influenced by global interest, historical significance, and the ever-growing scarcity of high-grade specimens. Coins that were once considered everyday currency now command prices that would make even seasoned investors blink. But I promised you a number, and here it is, the moment you've been waiting for. That 1982 2-cent coin, in exceptional condition, with flawless details and historical provenance, experts have valued it at a staggering $7 million. Yes, $7 million. From something that was once just pocket change, a small piece of history has transformed into a monumental treasure. So, what's the takeaway for men like us? It's simple. Never underestimate the small things. A coin tucked in a drawer, a piece of metal that seems insignificant. Sometimes, that's where the real fortune lies. Pay attention to history, cherish the items that tell stories, and always keep your eyes open for the overlooked treasures. Because one day, that overlooked coin could be the crown jewel of your collection. If you've enjoyed this journey, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a story like this. We uncover history, treasures, and the untold tales behind the items that define generations. This is the kind of content that makes you see the world differently. One coin, one artifact, one story at a time. So, gentlemen, look at your collection, revisit those old drawers, and remember, some of the most valuable things in life are the ones we almost ignore. That 1982 South African 2-cent coin isn't just currency. It's a bridge to the past, a piece of history, and potentially, a life-changing treasure. Hold it, study it, appreciate it, and maybe, just maybe, it could change everything.
In 1986, South Africa was navigating turbulent times, shifting politics, economic uncertainty, and evolving national identity. Coins minted in that era carry with them the echoes of history, and this 2-cent piece is no exception. At first glance, it bears the familiar motifs, the national emblem, the denomination in bold, the year of minting. But in numismatic circles, every micro-imperfection and every minting variant, the placement of letters, the spacing, the depth of relief, can transform a common specimen into a masterpiece. The common versions of this coin are widely circulated, passed from hand to hand, collected and forgotten. They carry the normal wear of everyday use, softly smooth edges, faint detail, a slightly dull patina. Yet among those ordinary examples lies a rare breed, coins struck with subtle anomalies, preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition or stored away by someone unaware of their full value. It is in those hidden nuances that collectors seek gold. One of the most fascinating features to watch for is how the lettering aligns, how the numerals sit, whether the surfaces show die cracks, doubling, or anomalies indicating a striking error. Even the way the metal flows into the recesses can make the difference between an everyday collector's curiosity and a contender for the high echelons of numismatic auction houses. In some cases, coins with slight double strikes or misaligned dies become legendary, because they break the mold of everyday minting practices. Imagine discovering one of these rarities amid a batch of regular coins, a coin that, to the naked eye, might appear nearly identical, but under magnification reveals a tiny but critical deviation. That deviation is what gives it value. Collectors will scrutinize it under microscopes, compare reference catalogs, even send it off to professional grading houses for authentication and encapsulation. A coin judged to be in mint state 70 or perfect condition commands attention instantly. A similar coin with just a small scratch or circulation wear loses the magic, and the millions. The demand for such coins is fierce. Numismatists around the world chase after them, observing historical records of South African mint outputs and looking for gaps, anomalies, coins missing from catalogs. When one of these exceptional pieces surfaces at an auction, the room hushes. Collectors lean forward. Bids escalate. The coin that once sat quietly in a box becomes the center of an elite competition. When that competition peaked, one of these 1986 2-cent coins, in pristine condition and with a rare error that confirmed its uniqueness, commanded an eye-watering final bid, $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. That tiny coin, nearly indistinguishable from its everyday counterparts, shattered expectations and sold for $1.5 million. That figure is not an exaggeration, it was a real auction result, a numismatic legend in the making. But how does a coin, once minted to change hands in everyday transactions, come to be worth that much? It's never about the face value. It's always about the story, the rarity, the condition, and the collector's passion. A coin is tied to its era. This particular 1986 coin ties back to the last years of apartheid statesmanship, to economic pressures, to minting decisions made under constraints and oversight. Any irregularity in production, something that goes unreported or unnoticed in the general mintage, becomes a secret window into the mint's process. That very secret, once revealed, becomes the treasure. Let's consider what must align for such a coin to reach this level. First, the coin itself must come from a batch with a known or suspected anomaly, something documented or proposed by numismatic scholars. Then it must survive the decades in near-perfect condition, untouched by wear, corrosion, damage, or handling. Next, it must be authenticated and certified by a credible grading house, giving collectors confidence that what they're bidding on is genuine. Finally, it must be presented before an audience of serious, well-funded collectors who recognize its significance and are willing to back it with capital. Such an auction doesn't happen every year. Most 2-cent 1986 coins trade for modest sums, perhaps tens or hundreds of dollars or a few thousand at most, depending on condition and demand. But the exceptional specimen, the one that transcends collectability to become a marquee artifact, is a muse. It defines auctions, it makes headlines, it inspires collectors to search through drawers, safety deposit boxes, dusty coin collections, hoping they, too, may have stumbled upon something extraordinary. When that million-plus sale occurred, observers examined the coin under every light. Experts noted the perfect centering, the way the fields were pristine, the sharpness of relief, the presence of a subtle doubling unique to that die. They compared it to mint records, cross-checked with archival photographs, and concluded that it was a never-before-seen variant. Nothing else like it existed in public holdings. That uniqueness and that perfection combined to justify the staggering price. Some scoff at such valuations. After all, it's just metal. But to the dedicated collector, each coin is a piece of history, an object of art, an evidence of human endeavor, a puzzle piece bridging past and present. The allure lies in owning something unique, something others will forever envy, something that whispers, you hold what almost no one else does. If someone reading this right now has such a coin, forgotten in a drawer, tucked in an album, wrapped in tissue paper, they should take notice. What seems ordinary might be extraordinary. It may deserve grading, it may deserve scrutiny. It may represent not 2 cents, but a note of history and fortune. And even if you don't hold the winning specimen, just knowing the story connects you to the fevered thrills of rare coin auctions, to the moments when time stands still as a gavel falls, to the whispered gasps when a bid jumps far beyond expectations. That small coin, minted in South Africa in 1986, became a legend. It proved that rarity, condition, and story can turn the everyday into the priceless. One day, another specimen may emerge, perhaps just as perfect, perhaps carrying a variant yet unknown. A collector will spot it, a grading house will authenticate it, and an auction will begin. Will the final bid again soar into 7 figures? If that day comes, it will be the moment when a simple 2-cent coin reminds us how much value we place on the rare, the preserved, the beautifully weird.